clothing, historic clothing extraordinaire, it looks like to me. I'm really just intrigued by all the things she's already propped up and all the things she's going to tell us about. But my name is Andrea Carter. I'm president of the Historical Society. We have a meeting like this. This is our last one for the summer. We'll be meeting again in September, the second Tuesday of the month here at the library. All the programs are public and informative, we hope. If you're not a member of the Historical Society, I would very much appreciate your joining. It costs $25 a year and it supports the work of the Historical Society. I want to tell you about a special event this Saturday at 8 o'clock at the Challenger Learning Center in Tallahassee. Tate is a film made by a local young man by the name of Stacy Brown. He's a film aficionado, and it has to do with the history of Tate's Hell. He filmed it on our property, Heritage Village, which is on the north end of the county, where we have 3 historic buildings. So if you can join us at the IMAX Theater this Saturday evening, the 17th, tickets are available online, and we'll give you the website if you want to know that. Any other business before we get started?
And we do have a few membership applications over here.
Membership applications, Mary Ann, any announcements you
No,
want to make?
that's what we needed to,
Great.
anyone that wants to join it, it does help us to stay in the loop a little bit.
All right, thank you. Ms. Tolbert?
Thank you. Let me know if I don't speak loud enough. I'm usually really quiet, and so I'm trying. We want to talk about the look of the times. And when I look around here, obviously the look for women in 2025 is pants. Shame on you. Nobody's wearing a skirt. Nobody's wearing a dress anymore. Yes. I can relate to that. When I still worked, I never wore pants to work. It was not appropriate, at least for me, in my eyes. And then when I retired, I think all my skirts retired too. I'm wearing jeans and leggings and, stuff like that. When we look at fashion, there is always a certain, let's call it norm. There are small variations, but there's kind of like a look of the times. Remember the 90s was the big shoulders?
Big shoulders.
I had an outfit like that, a suit, nice suit. And then I put it in the closet for a while, and maybe when I pulled it back out 10 years later and I put on the jacket with those huge shoulders, I said, oh my God. Or remember mini skirts?
Oh, yes.
We all wore them. 10 years later you put them on and you said, with those legs, you really wear them. So there is a certain style. And just like today, none of us wears Paris fashion. I can't afford it. But we try. We have a certain style, a certain look of the period, or a certain look of the era. And if we see something we like in a fashion magazine or so, if we saw it, we might try to copy it. I think it's no use to try to buy it. It's way too expensive. So let's see what in the 1850s, 1860s, the look was. Let's start bottom up. If I would have a tailor's dummy, mine fell apart years ago and I haven't replaced it yet, so I don't have that. We would dress it. And we start with stockings. Stockings were knitted. They were made of wool or cotton or silk, if you could afford it. They were up to your thigh, and you wore a garter. Ladies, can we show the stockings? This is, and you can hand them around. The brown one is an Amish stocking. They still wear that today, so it's a little lower. The pattern is usually plain. Stripes. Stripes is a little more fashionable. Younger women would wear it, so I'm gonna put it on those two. Or a clocked stocking. I don't have a clocked stocking yet. They usually are silk. And every time I look to buy one and I see the price, and I said, do I really want to pay $35 for a pair of stockings? One day I will. The colors were usually natural colors: beige, off-white, gray. See, I wear gray. Or colored, striped, but that is more for the fashionable crowd. You can reach them around if you want to, so people can look at them.
Thank you.
They are held up.
I have to write, that's cool.
They are held up with garters, because otherwise they will fall down. If you have regular legs, maybe they will stay up. If you have skinny legs, they definitely will fall down. And if you have big legs, they roll down too. So those are garters I knitted. You can reach them around. And you would, let me just show. It goes through the loop. You tie it, and then you put it through the loop again. So you have like a little knot.
That's perfect.
So,
And the day when you took them off, were you swearing at them?
no.
So they're actually, they're comfy, it's like, they stretch around your legs, like little garters. Garter
I think-
stitch.
Yeah, I think I have more problems with, I bought at a sutler. Sutler is a merchant. It's usually somebody who supplies items for the soldiers, but in reenacting we use it kind of as a generic term. I bought one that is rolled elastic. I swear at those at the end of the day.
Yes.
Because they come. The next thing you would put on is drawers or pantaloons. They were introduced as an undergarment in the first decades of the 19th century. Before, you didn't wear underpants. Can hold them up and reach them around. They consisted of two legs, independently attached. No, let's just start with the pantaloons. It started out as like two stovepipes on a band. And then, yeah, as you can see, they have split crotch. There's a reason for that. That is a reason for that. But I explain that in a second. They extend to below the knee. Older women would wear it lower than to the knee. And sometimes they're decorated on the bottom. You can see I knitted some lace to put on there. And the length often depended on the age of the woman, of the wearer. Older women wore it longer.
Okay.
Little girls would have them really long, and they peek out from under their dresses.
Is there another one? I mean, there's a one turned off or something. Did you hear? Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Now, the split, there's a reason for that. It's for convenience.
Okay.
Imagine having closed underpants, and then you have 3 or 4 skirts on top of it. There is no way you can fumble that down, sit, do your business, and then pull it back up. And you split it. Works perfect. And you're not exposed because, you know, as you can see, it folds over. I have it folded over here a bit. It really covers. I haven't tried falling down yet, but I think it works. The next thing you put on is the chemise. The chemise is short-sleeved, loose, and it's a shift-like garment. It often has gussets. This one doesn't, but this one has wide sleeves. Sometimes it has gussets, which is a square under the arm to give you more reach, more mobility. They were frequently laundered. They were white, and they were often washed because they soaked up all the sweat and all the body dirt. And women had several of those shifts. They often had more shifts than they actually had dresses. Thank you. And then we have shoes. Word to the wise, put on your shoes before you put on the corset. I had a heck of a time today, I did it different. At home they wore slippers. They just like our slippers, just the material is different. They had leather soles. It was embroidered or plain canvas-like. When you get out of the house, you would wear booties. They were square toes. They were square-toed, and this is a new fashion. They have elastic. Yes, we had elastic. They have elastic on the sides. They're the easiest to get off and on. Just slip it.
The boots, riding boots are still like that today.
The what?
Stuff, riding, for riding with your jumpers and your boots with the.
And now we have, that comes in a minute. Now we have the dreaded corset. You would want to wear a corset. If you don't wear a corset, you're a loose woman. That's where the term comes from.
Or if you had your corset loose as well, that's another one.
You don't have to pull it in until you can breathe in.
Yeah, right.
But if you don't wear it, you're a loose woman. Would you like to,
loose woman.
I don't know if it fits you, but would you like to put it on?
Again?
Yeah.
What are you doing? It goes to the back. The laces go to the back, yeah.
Yeah, this is way too big for you.
I can feel the part.
Yeah, so you hook it in here. And then you pull the back, and it is perfectly fine to be to about 2 inches apart. This, of course, doesn't fit. I just grabbed one. I have several. For some weird reason, when somebody got out of the hobby, or when they didn't fit the corset anymore, it ended up in my collection. So I have several corsets. The corset gave structure to the dress. It made the waist look small because you could pull it in a bit. And the small waist is a look of the period. You want a small waist, you want wide hips and wide shoulders. See, the arm, the sleeve starts here, so that gives you optical width. it gives a smooth line between the fullest part of the bust and waist. It's, you know, a little floppy here. You know how it is when you get to a certain age. You get a little floppy. And it should not be too constricted. You need to be able to breathe. It's supposed to give you structure. It's supposed to give you support, not kill you. And it gives support to the spine. I had a friend, now deceased, who made corsets. I don't know if you remember the paper lady.
Yes.
She made most of the corsets. And when she worked on sewing corsets, she wore one because it gave her back support.
Yeah, okay.
Just like the back braces you get at the hardware store. It supports you. All right, next. Petticoats. Petticoats give shape to the skirts, and they are worn in multiples. The number of petticoats worn are between 2 or 3 or up to 6 or more. The more petticoats you wear, the bigger your skirt gets, the fuller your skirt gets. So this here is an under petticoat. It's shorter. Hold it onto your waist. By comparison, it's shorter, it's narrower, it's used as the first petticoat. And it could be quilted for warms, and I'm still working, I haven't started yet, but I'm determined to make me a quilted petticoat. And it also could be knitted for warms. Now, I'm an avid knitter, but I haven't done that yet.
Oh, man.
One day. This is another under petticoat. This is flannel. It's also narrower. Look at the color. Red. Red wards of disease. Don't ask me why, but they believe that. If you wear red undergarments or red petticoat, disease will not come and get you.
Actually,
What can I say?
the ladies at the lavenderias would wear red clothes, and it's opaque when it's wet. And all the other colors, it gets transparent, but the red is opaque.
Maybe that's the way back reason.
Way back reason, yeah.
So we have 2 petticoats. There is a third one, the striped one. That is a corded petticoat. A corded petticoat was worn earlier in the 1830s, 40s. It kind of came out of fashion in the 1850s. But the nice thing is, it gives the skirt structure. I didn't starch this one, but if you starch it, it stands out. Somebody said, starch the heck out of it and then put it over a drum.
Yes.
Well, I usually starch it, dry it, and then iron it, so I didn't starch that. But for working, you know, like in the kitchen or so, I would wear that. It gives the skirt structure, but it's not overwhelming. Let's go to the hoop or the cage. You can see they're having fun. Okay, let's see.
It's like I see Scarlett's summer dress.
Actually, you have it upside down, but that's okay for the time being.
Would be over the top of that. That's Scarlett's dress for the lawn.
I see somebody stealing my hoop. as you turn it around, no, here. The closure is in the front.
So it's a little bit, the shape in the back goes
Yes.
out a little bit,
So
like you
it
got a
has
tray.
shape out in the back. This avoids 6 petticoats because it makes your dress stand out. It makes it swing. One of the most prominent features of the period is the shape of the skirts. You know, the bell, and then in the mid-60s, it went out more to the back. You know, and then remember it evolved into the bustle, where you had all the weight and all the fabric in the back, and the front was flat. This is starting to go in that direction. They were made out of weighted bone, inserted into petticoat-like garments. They held the shape of the skirt without requiring multiple heavy petticoats. So with that, you wear an under petticoat, you wear the hoop, and then you wear the over petticoat. Thank you.
At Disney, at the Commedia dell'arte, they had the framed petticoat for the lady, but she had wheels on 4 or 5 sides of them. So she could turn around and the whole thing stays on little wheels.
Then comes the next petticoat, a white one. This is the over petticoat. At least I hope it is. It's longer. It covers the under petticoat. It covers the hoop, and it's not quite as long as the dress, but you wear that to cover the bones of the hoop, so you don't see the rings on your dress. Really good here would be if you have tugs, if you have lots of tugs on the bottom, that covers the hoop pretty good. Yeah, we said this. Now, let's talk about the dresses. The shoulder seams are lengthened. You see, the shoulder seam is into my shoulder. No, wait. You're getting way too excited. And the arm size fit closely under the shoulder. I had a pattern where I could not move my arm, so I said, no, this is too much. I need to move it, so I fixed it. The dresses are fastened in the front. The ones fastened in the back are ball gowns or girls' dresses, because the normal woman did not have a servant to button her up every day, maybe several times if she changed dresses. The trim, if any, is on the bodice and is most often applied in a horizontal line. You'll find some examples here. And the sleeves are fullest at the elbow. This is a coat sleeve. This is a bishop sleeve with an oversleeve. And they have self-fabric piping, like here, like here, like here. No, I didn't do it here. Can you turn this around, please? I think, did I pipe this? No, I didn't pipe it. I was lazy.
That one's not piped.
This one is not piped either.
Oh, but the belt, the waist is.
Yeah, the waist is piped here.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the body shapes. there are basically three types. There is the Y bodice. It's a Y shape with gores right here. It's hard to see, but they're there.
Okay, so there's pleats or gores.
Well, you know, darts, yeah, darts. And that gives it that shape. And this is an example of that. So, the Y dress. Then Miss Heaven is holding up an O bodice.
Okay,
An O bodice that has no shape.
and there's lots of gathers along
It's-
the waistband, right?
Yeah, it's gathered here. It's and if you please turn it around. It's also gathered in the back.
Oh, okay.
This is maybe a little more comfortable dress. It does not fit everybody because, you know, it makes you look a little bit wider. But it's one of the shapes again. The O bodice. What did I say?
And the shoulders are off.
Popular style of bodice among younger women. Gathered into waistband with fullness at front and back, but not on the sides. Most have underbodices shaped like the Y bodice. Let's see if this has. Look here, it has the darts in here.
But the top fabric is gathered and the actual bodice inside is fitted to fit.
Right. Right. This is a professionally made dress. This is done by Civil War lady. I think she's the most expensive vendor for those dresses. My friend had lots of money to spend. She was single, what else would she spend it on? And most have an underbody shaped like a Y bodice. Gathered fabric lies loosely over the underbodice, attached only at shoulders, neck, waist, and side seams. And then we come to the third bodice. This is the fan or Y bodice.
Okay. That's your dress is currently that style?
That is, mine is a modified fan bodice.
Okay.
The difference is this is sewn on in the modified.
Mhm.
In the true Y bodice, you would expand the bodice for pleats.
Oh, okay.
But both is acceptable, and when you look at original pictures, both was done. Let's see what my smart notes said to that. Oops. The Y bodice or fan bodice style was more popular before the war, and older women during the war, because we have a tendency to wear styles that we're familiar with. It might not be quite fashionable any longer, but we're comfortable with it. The dress fabric cut is laid in gentle folds over the breast and was pleated, changed or gathered into waist, at center front, and sometimes in the back. Mine is not in the back, mine is just in the front, but you could do it in the back too. It differs from the gathered bodice because fabric is gathered, pleated at the shoulder, right here. Of course, I have the pleat. And that's basically it. If you have any questions, I'd be more than willing to answer it if I can. Yes?
Did the ladies usually make their own clothes, or did they buy them?
It depends. There were no ready-made clothes. You could not go to the store and buy a dress because the dresses were tailored to you. We, you know, we all have little body things that don't fit off the rack. I know my aunt always had her clothes tailored because she had a bit of a dowager's hump, and it looked funny, so the seamstress took care of that. And so all dresses were made for a specific woman. That doesn't mean they couldn't be taken apart later and made for somebody else. And if I have good fabric in a dress that I don't wear anymore, and don't tell those two, I might take one apart and make it up for them. See the look I'm getting? That's why I said don't tell them. You could make it yourself. Sewing machines were popular at that time because you could buy them on credit and make monthly payments. How many women do you think badgered their husbands to buy a sewing machine?
Quite a few.
Quite a bit, I would think.
Would those be more of the town ladies instead of the ones who lived out on the farms?
Actually, what is it, something out in the farm area, they would be then the person with the sewing machine, and they could have a trade doing sewing and stuff too.
Maybe, but if they lived on a farm, they probably would tend the farm,
Animals.
Yeah.
the animals.
And
You know, farmer's wife, work is
Yes.
never done.
right.
So there are two options. You could make it yourself, or you could hire a seamstress, not a tailor. A tailor is for men's clothes. You could hire a seamstress to make it for you. And richer ladies would do that, would hire out, would have embroidery done, which could be, if you're talented, could be a cottage industry. And yeah, those. Yes.
Do you want to talk about your collar and your hem on that dress? I mean, is that one of those things that's like supposed to protect the hem?
It protects the hem. When it wears out, I take it off and put a new one in. Here I was kind of lazy, I just sewed it on top. What you're supposed to do is fold it over so it really protects the hem. I just sewed it on top.
Or does that one has like a thin one?
Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Yeah, it was black or something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That is true.
See,
Yeah.
here I took the time to actually fold it over. And this one doesn't have one. I wonder why. Let me have a word with Civil War lady.
Or does the dress have a specific name?
Pardon?
Does that part of the dress, the hem protector, have a specific
Hem
name?
protector.
No. What is that, kick, the kick?
No, the kick panel is this part.
Okay, the kick panel's
The
that
kick
one.
panel is this part.
Okay.
That's
That's,
Hem guard, hem protector,
yeah, hem guard, yeah.
yeah.
Would they use horsehair braid that's on the bottom of those or not?
They could, yeah.
That would be a good handy use for them.
Yeah.
And then the kick, guard is to help you go up and down stairs and go in uneven ground, and it helps to keep the skirt away from your legs. Right, where you can kick it out of the way when you need to.
And it also protects the fabric.
Yeah.
Because, you have to imagine, labor was cheap, but fabric was expensive.
Oh, yes.
Today we don't go to Joann's anymore. But we can get fabric inexpensive by comparison. But if you pay a lot of money for fabric, then you want to use it as wisely as you can, as sparingly as you can. That's why a lot of the pattern, the fabric pattern are small, because then you can patch it. Then you could use the sleeve and put it together from different pieces of fabric, which you can do with a big pattern. If you have huge flowers on it,
You can't.
how you gonna put it together without it looking weird? Here, if I don't have enough, I put a seam in there and it works. Yes?
Was there no kind of clothing made for getting work done, like baking or cleaning or women?
All the petticoats and all that, the corset, all that was part of your daily dress, no matter what you
Yes.
were doing?
Yes. You wouldn't wear the hoop. If I go and clean or cook, instead of having the white petticoat, which of course is good because it can be boiled, it's white cotton, you put it in the wash kettle and you boil it, and then you hang it out in the sun, which will bleach it. You could, when you work, you could wear a colored petticoat and pin it up
To keep it fabric, your good fabric out of the way.
Or your apron.
and have it out of the way for bending down or kneeling down in front of the horse and things like that. And there are actually period pictures of women that look like that. But yeah, they would wear it.
Oh, the size of your napkins at the time, what is it, was 36 by 24, and so you have your napkin is your instant apron and stuff, but that's the size you would want to put on your clothes when you're eating, because you don't want to ruin your clothes or anything, so.
And and I mentioned that women had several chemises because they kept washing it. The dresses wouldn't get washed as often. Today, you take off your blouse, you put it in the wash machine. Not then. You brush it out, you hang it up, you air it out. It's good. Boys today know that. They can rewear their t-shirts over and over.
Yeah, unless they're wool for some strange reason.
Yeah.
And that's.
And especially wool dresses would not be washed, because washing wool is delicate. I remember my husband bought himself a pair of jean wool pants, and that was after he got a divorce, and then we were already knew each other. So he did his laundry himself at that point.
Mhm.
And I come back, and he had washed those jean wool pants in the washing machine.
With soap.
And I think he put them even in the dryer. And then he told me about it. And I said, what did you do with them? Oh, I threw them away. I said, are you out of your mind? I had an 8-9-year-old at that time. He would have fit him.
Perfectly.
Would have fit him because, you know, they were. Yeah, you don't want to wash wool.
Oh, yeah.
I had, the last washing machine I had a whole cycle, and I loved that. Now I have a new washing machine, and
It's
I
so
can't-
delicate, it's still too agitates it too much.
what I do now is no spin.
But,
And then I have a ton of water when I take it out of the machine and hang it up, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Over here, I have some books, and let's see if I can pull it up right away. This is an 1860s corset.
Wow. Cool.
It doesn't have to be as bland as the one I have. Of course, those I can wash. Here, I'm not so sure if I would want to do that. And let's see. It's a clever book. It gives you instructions how to make it. I bought mine. I looked at it and I said, I don't know.
I went and Xeroxed it on the page and then threw a projector up on the wall, and I had to measure, but I said, where would these combined things would be together? So that I made it farther back and were able to trace it. That's the only way I would be able to get that stuff.
I have a book that gives, that tells you step by step how to make one. And there are patterns out there. It's just, I have one. This is from the Victoria and Albert.
Oh, I love that.
Queen Victoria's underpants.
Guess what?
Just like everybody else. Where do I see? Search. Oh, it's on here. The embroidery, the crown, and then, what does it say? Victoria, Regina. For some reason, the Spanish word came to mind. Stockings. Here you can see clocked stockings. One day I'm gonna get me a pair. Forget about the
Yes,
$35.
now the reason it does is so you don't have saggy ankles that pull the actual fabric in, so yeah.
But they're pretty cool. That's why I need one.
And it's just outrageous when someone gets a glimpse of your clothing. Is that why they get decked? Oh my gosh.
You know, it was actually less scandalous to see a woman's breast than to see her ankle.
It's true.
Because the breast had a purpose.
It's to feed babies.
Right. So it was perfectly fine. I mean, no, you didn't go and display it, but if so, you know, if you had a dress that came down low, that was fine. Showing your ankle, no.
That's my grandfather used to yell at me if he saw my ankle. Because I was obviously an immoral girl.
And actually in the laws in Tallahassee, the first set of laws in the 40s, it actually said that a woman would not be arrested if she was topless because she could very well be feeding her baby. And so, but that was
Some of the laws are weird.
Yes.
Like, you cannot have men's and women's clothes on the same clothesline.
You know what could happen? Then there'd be baby clothes on that clothesline next.
Oh my goodness! Here's another corset.
Oh my.
That's like silk, like silk. Yeah. And then you've got guards on the bottom to keep the whalebones from poking through.
Bye, guys.
Everybody,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help.
And there is a hoop.
You girls did a good job. Thank you.
The ones I have is uncovered. You could cover it, but, see the extension in the back?
It's
So
starting to go.
I would say that's in the late sixties, and let's see. It says as the sixties progressed. Britain, 1860s. Maybe they were a little bit ahead of us.
There was no brassiere as we know it.
Oh, it's
The
just your
corset.
corset?
Corset.
Corset would
Place of it.
hold you up and keep you from sweating. Or
The,
breathe comfortably, what is it? They're comfortable.
Yeah, they are. If you don't try to squeeze the breath out of yourself,
Right.
they're not bad. I wouldn't go so far to say they're comfortable, but how many of us have bras that are really uncomfortable? And at 6 o'clock, can I go in my pajama now?
Yeah.
So let's see what else I have.
In Victorian times, that's why so many women were fainting all the time and needing their smelling salts, was because they couldn't breathe because of their corsets.
And they were the fine ladies, and they were taught
Yeah.
to faint.
Ah,
Oh, they tried to faint, that's true. They were. Yeah, if you wanted to listen in on a conversation, you could pretend to faint and you could be there and then you could still hear what's going on.
sounds like a plan.
It was a plan.
Yeah, in Harry Potter, they have the extended ears that you can send out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who's familiar with Harry Potter, but I read all the books. They have those extendo ears. You can send them down the staircase and they can spy on your parents talking. Now those are actual pictures of the 1860s.
They mostly would wear capes over there, so you couldn't put any kind of coat over them, I take it.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you have special capes
Yeah, they have
and
special
special coats and, and nice really big gores added to your capes.
Yeah, this is a combination of cape and coat.
Oh,
And, she's wearing a coat.
okay.
We try to have dresses, the same fabric, the skirt and the bodice. But, younger women started kind of mixing it up. In Italy, around that time, was that revolution, Garibaldi, and they have those white blouses, the white shirts with the huge sleeves and big shirts. And women imitated that. There's actually a Garibaldi, which is pretty big, and young girls, like those two, well, maybe a little bit older. One is almost 15, the other one is 16, so I don't know if I would send them into fashion yet. because, girls, we would dress to the age, not to the maturity. The way those two look, they could easily be 20. Today we teach our girls to be super mature. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. They don't need to be that exposed at such a young age. Just because they started developing doesn't mean they have to wear clothes a 20-year-old would wear. So, but I'm not gonna argue with her mother. Or with her, which is worse. So they dressed to their age, and I read in some book that a girl complained that the new dress she got had buttons in the back, that the grandmother insisted buttons in the back and no long skirts. Girls would go from 10, maybe 14, 15, a handspan over the ankle was 17, to full length was about 20. And the thing there was, the skirt lengths determined availability. If you had a long skirt, the fellows would come calling. And if you have a 15-year-old, you might not want that. So you have her in a shorter skirt, and that was a subtle sign to the male population. She's off limits.
Absolutely.
So the grandmother insisted, and I had said before, women's dresses are closed in the front, girls' dresses in the back, that her dress closes in the back. Well, she didn't like that. She tried to argue, but you don't win against a grandmother, if you, at least not then. She got her new dress with buttons in the back and the shorter skirt. She could have had an argument, she was 17. Today we would say, of course you can wear that. Of course, but not then. She was not, in her social status, she was not available yet. Her parents decided she gets married when she's older, not with 17.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't have any girl, I might have any girl outfits here, but not
Yeah.
that much.
And they would be growing, and you can't afford skirts, new skirts every time they grow a few inches. So that's why there's pleats, or those
The
little,
ghost tucks, yeah,
what are those called that are
tucks.
tucks, the tucks? So you have the fabric she'd need when she was 20, probably tucked up in her skirt.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that would be let out when,
Yeah, I told them I would do that with their dresses. And, let them out when I see fit. Oh, I'm such a bad grandmother. Keep an eye on someone that goes. I can hand that book around so you can look. Let's see. Yeah, the 1860s start here. There are other years in there too, earlier. Empire, you call that federal.
Empire, yeah, Empire
Georgian.
here, oh, right.
Georgian,
Yeah.
federal.
Yeah.
Okay, those are not by date, so. I actually in it. I'm sure there were some pictures in here that fitted the period. Here are girls' dresses.
Oh, yes. The shorter length.
Here.
Yes, the little girls' dresses. Oh, it's big,
See the two fabric.
two fabrics. That's someone that doesn't have enough money for both in one bolt.
Well,
But she did get that trim to match.
yeah. No, this is a
fashion.
choice. This is a fashion
Is
choice.
that the Garibaldi?
That is a Garibaldi.
Yeah, okay.
A modified, I think, because I think it has an undersleeve. The Garibaldi would have just a bishop sleeve.
Okay.
And then all this is Civil War era, all those books, all those pictures. She took a tremendous job finding all those pictures and putting them together.
Can you tell homespun from in these photos, or
No, I would not think so.
like this is taffeta, more taffeta, and this is that I think is a silk also.
No, I cannot tell from
This
from the
one
pictures.
looks like it's chintz, that it was ironed and glossy cotton. Yeah, these are beautiful.
And then there was a thing called polished cotton,
Yes.
which is really pretty until you wash it.
I didn't know it's unpolished. Yeah.
Karen bought in Virginia that gorgeous fabric, blue and green like stripes, looked like polished cotton. Gorgeous fabric. And then she retired from reenacting and she gave me, because she hadn't made it yet, she gave me that fabric. You wouldn't believe the difference. It's like any other fabric, any other cotton.
As soon as you wash it.
As soon as you wash it, it's over.
You lose it, so there's some type of sizing and finishing with, planchette. Heavy duty iron.
You should take a corner of it and starch it and put fabric finish on it and iron it and see what happens.
These are quite,
Any more questions?
quite spectacular.
Thank you,
And
dear.
here I have, a display board of different.
Thank you so much for joining us. Are there any other questions of the group?
These
Mr. Hawkins?
adorable. Can you imagine what?
Is this worn by women or men or by everybody?
Everybody. Everybody. Women of means would not dress different in principle. They would have the same styles, the same restraints or restrictions. They would have better fabric. They would wear, there is a pattern from the Wisconsin Historical Society of a walking dress that belonged to the governor. A gorgeous dress. It's silk. How many women in Tallahassee? Never mind Crawfordville. If it existed at that time, I'm not sure.
Maybe we had one or two for special occasions, and it would be a governor's wife, and they would have sent it from up north somewhere.
Yeah. So you dress to your needs. The style would basically stay the same. And when you look at those movies,
Can you buy it?
Gone with the Wind is not too bad because they have some original dresses.
Where is that? I'm sorry.
Gone with the Wind.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember the miniseries North and South? Those women dressed awful, plain awful.
Those
The
little
best-
house on the prairie dresses.
No, they wore short sleeves, grown women.
Oh,
They wore short sleeves, which would be girls or ball gown. Deep cut during the day. The best dressed woman in that miniseries is Morsali, the mulatto servant of one of the leading characters.
oh my gosh.
She dresses exactly right. All those rich women didn't dress right. You did not go out and ride in your carriage in a ball gown.
That
It's-
would be destroyed, yeah.
I mean,
With the cost of fabric, you
yeah,
can't afford.
I mean,
it would
today,
be
do you
covered.
take a hike in the woods in your evening gown?
Of course.
Mhm.
Doesn't everyone?
No, it's like, maybe a wedding dress on a remote island, they might attempt it, but no, the cost of fabric was,
Yeah, not only that, it was inappropriate. It was, I don't wanna say indecent, but yeah, in a way, it was not appropriate for the time of day.
oh, yeah, and then also, do you know how the weather varied from today? Because I'm thinking, a lot of people were wearing long sleeves maybe because it was chilly, it was cold, and you had to stay warm. It would be as long as was being,
It depends
From
where,
us.
it depends where you are. But, and that's from a personal observation.
uh-huh,
When I go out dressed, and not necessarily in this because this is heavy homespun, but when I go out dressed and I have long sleeves, I feel cooler than if I have no sleeves because the sun is not burning on my skin.
right.
And
So
I'm not quite as hot as I'm in shorts because I have built-in air conditioner.
You
When I
had it.
move,
Yes.
I get some air up my skirt.
Yes.
So
There's-
it's all relative.
Yeah, and for example, a lot more people at that time would wear hats when they were leaving the house, and that's also for shielding them from the sun and rain and.
Yeah, the
weather.
contraindication, of course, is the fashion bonnets.
Oh, well, they don't help.
But,
That's only for the races, is that?
no, that is, it's like, the governor's wife in the self-dressed.
Yes,
You would wear it to church, you would wear it to show off. If you go outside, even as a woman of means, if you go outside to tend your garden, or just to inspect what your gardener is doing,
mhm,
you would wear a sunbonnet.
so yes,
Sunbonnets, of course, are an item to itself. I made one and it's like I'm wearing blinders, like the horse's head, because it comes out to about here and you can't see much. So in order to see, you have to turn your head.
keep your eye on it.
But it keeps the sun off your face.
Mhm.
Works fine.
Keeps you.
And
keeps
then we
you cool.
interrupted you again.
No, that's no problem. Any other questions? You're welcome to come up and look through the things Ms. Tolbert's brought and speak with her if you like. And a reminder about the film at Challenger IMAX Theater Saturday evening. Thank you for coming.
Has the historical village improved? Last time it was, yeah, among the weeks. Thank you.